What's up, guys? Navajero here. Really excited to bring you guys a video that I had been hoping to make for a very long time now, but for whatever reason other things would come up and I wouldn't get around to it. So now I'm excited to bring you guys my very humble, I want to say, working man's watch collection. I know the watch YouTube scene is kind of big, and there's definitely a lot of good creators on there, but particularly I find that a lot of people are hyper focused on very expensive pieces, or you have the other side, which is like mostly Casios and stuff. I kind of dabble in a little bit of everything. Not to say that I have super expensive pieces, because I really don't. These are, I think, all considered around budget pieces that are able to be had pretty much by anybody, if you are able to find them, and pretty much at a reasonable price. So without further ado, what I'm wearing today, which I took off the watch I was wearing just to go ahead and present it here, but I'm wearing the very classic Casio Royale, or I forget the actual number on this one. This is the AE 1200 WH. This one is the bronze kind of finish on here with the resin strap. This is the watch that I take traveling. Every time I travel, especially outside of the US, this is what I take, because it has the world timer feature, allowing you to have 4 different time zones on here, and it's just a really lightweight watch, very easy. You don't have to worry about banging it up while going and doing things, getting ready or traveling and stuff. So I love this watch for travel. It's pretty much my go-to. Next up, we have my work watch. This is the watch that I've worn pretty much for the last 2 years, I want to say, give or take. I pretty much vary both of these two. I rotate between these two right here. I'm wearing them to work. It's my favorite kind of like work watch, something that is rough and tough and you can really beat up. I've beat up this one in particularly a lot. I liked it so much that I got the second variation, but there is a couple different options as far as this all-around kind of design. This is the WH, or is it W736H, I believe is the number on here. Yes. And then they offer another one that has like little circles and stuff. There's different variations of it. But this one with the tan strap, you can see it's dirty because I do use it quite a lot. This has been my favorite for work. I am a truck driver that delivers locally here, and I deliver the actual cargo and drop off stuff, and I'm constantly banging these watches up against the trailer, up against a bunch of different things, and they have been great. It's almost like a budget G-Shock. Of course, Casio is G-Shock, or the higher end, more resistant G-Shocks and stuff that can go up to hundreds of dollars. These right here, you're gonna find them for way less, maybe used for $30 or something, maybe brand new around 50-60. So yeah, very, very recommendable. It is quite big. It is a huge watch, but if you're into that G-Shock style but not the G-Shock price, I highly recommend this. And it has an amazing backlight. You're not able to see it here fully, but it has one of the best lights here, which is right in the center right here. It's not a side button, which I find very, very helpful, especially because I do work at night. So yeah, this is one of my favorites. Next up, this was kind of a little I don't know, I don't regret buying this watch, but I definitely don't use this watch as much as my other ones. This was kind of I saw it, I thought it was really cool, and for whatever reason I thought I would wear it, but I really don't wear it as much. There's a Casio Illuminator, I believe it's an AW81. Yeah, AW81. And the cool feature about this, they call this the telememo. you can go ahead and input people's phone numbers on here and go ahead and search through them. It has all the other Casio features as well, and this is also an ani-digi, so it has an analog, you know, hands on here, and it has a digital display which displays the actual, sorry, I just wanted to get it back to the actual normal time instead of the military time. But yeah, very cool. It has loom on here. A lot of people actually, when I wear this, confuse this with an Apple Watch, just because of the design. Has little like plastic buttons on here. Kind of looks cheap and stuff, but it is pretty cool. I have gotten compliments wearing this one, but it's just not really something I tend to wear as much. I'm more of a tool watch, diver watch, field watch kind of guy, and this just doesn't fit that aesthetic. But very cool watch nonetheless. Yeah. All right, now to our main box. This is the ones that I rotate through specifically through my days off. These I do not wear to work. I do wear them on my days off when you know, I have a chance to kind of rotate through these. It's always fun, and I do still beat these things up. I mean, I'm not by any means wearing these and, you know, just taking it easy. I sometimes on my days off have to you know, do things around the house. I have to maybe run errands and stuff, and these watches are constantly getting tested and abused, which is good because you should be, you know, using your watches every day and not babying them unless you have something super crazy expensive. But, you know, that's why I don't carry anything too expensive on me, on my wrist. All right, so starting from left to right, from the top over here, this is actually a new purchase. This is the MDC Field Military Watch. This can be found on Amazon. If I have a chance to, I will link whatever I can down below. A lot of these, I'm not sure if you can find on Amazon, but, you know, what is available, I will try to link down below. This is a kind of modernized field style watch, day date on here, raised minute track here on the sides. It is quartz, as you can see, nice little red tip on there, loomed hour and seconds hands. And I just run a, you know, highlight for all of these in particular things I just like about them. I don't have all the information on these. I'm by no means a watch expert or anything, but some of the things I like is the kind of like blasted case right here. You know, I don't really like too much of like shiny watches. I don't like a watch that's too show-offy, if that makes sense. I like the look of like a tool watch. This comes on a very simple NATO strap right here that you can go ahead and, you know, fold over, and I like the look of that. Polished here again, it's like a blasted finish on the sides of this, and it is a great, I think, looking watch. It reminds me of a certain Seiko that had come out a couple of years ago. In particular, I feel like maybe this is highly inspired by that, but this is you know, kind of its own thing as far as very, very cheap. I believe this was about $21, $25 on Amazon, and they go on sale sometimes for even cheaper, which is crazy. And they have a bunch of different versions. This one's the MDC, but it's also found under infantry. So yeah, if you guys are into any type of like military watches and stuff, this is a cool way to introduce yourself or get into wearing these with like NATOs and stuff. I usually like more metal bands and stuff or rubber, but it is cool to have, you know, a NATO. So yeah, really cool watch, honestly, for the price. Super cheap, but great. Still looks good. All right, next up we have here, this one was one of my early purchases when I first started getting into watches, which honestly I haven't been into watches too long, maybe about 3.5 years about. And I went down the Casio rabbit hole. That's kind of was my introduction to watches. So I went down that rabbit hole and I started finding all these different, you know, Casios that had been you know, released years ago that aren't released anymore. I believe this in particular is one that is not released anymore. I think this was actually maybe just sold overseas. I don't even think these were sold over here in America. Might be wrong about that. But this is a solar Casio. This is the MTP S101. Yeah. And I really love the sword hands on here. I mean, I am into knives and stuff. So just given the fact that this has sword hands, I think is fitting. And I really like it. I really love the look of the, you know, almost like a field watch, with a small date window there, and it's cutting into the 3. A lot of people might not like that, but I like it. It's different. I just really enjoy the all-around clean look of this. I like how you have the bigger, you know, numbers here, really nice dial, and vaguely you can see the actual solar panel on there. If you're able to see that, you can kind of see it right there. Able to see the solar panel on there, which, you know, it takes natural lighting and charges this up. I recently had to change the battery on this because I had just left it in the watch box, but that's my fault. Usually solar watches, you want to leave them maybe out of a watch box, closer to a windowsill, closer to like natural lighting, so it'll, you know, stay and maintain charge if you're not wearing it every day. But this is a watch you could wear every day. I love the construction of the actual case and stuff. Very slim design. Crown guards on here. I feel like that's something that, you know, a lot of watches don't have, which is an added feature that is great. So I love that they added this. They offered this one in a couple different variations, but the black and white like this is classic. You'll see a theme of that. I really enjoy black and white watches. So yeah, really like this one. I feel like this one's a little hard to get. I don't think I'll be able to put this one down in the description, but if you're able to find these are really cool. Next up, another, again, going down the Casio rabbit hole. I happened to find this one. This one was a refurbished model that I found on eBay, and to my surprise, you know, I first thought it was actually fake. I thought maybe this was a, you know, somebody branding, you know, a watch as a Casio when it wasn't. But come to find out, this is an actual Casio issued watch, again, more than likely overseas. What surprised me about this was all the features it had. Quartz 200 water meter resistance, which is kind of crazy for a quartz watch, especially a Casio. You know, you're getting a lot right there. It has a really cool band on it. I've never seen this type of band, and it's a, you know, kind of different for what it is. And this side milling on here, again, blasted case, which is awesome. Really nice case design as well. You have a white dial here with your inner, what are these called? You have your date, your day of the month, and your military hour on there. So you have these little sub dials right here, and they all work. So you can go ahead and set, you know, the time and stuff, and then have everything there in your hand as far as all these little sub dials telling you all the other details. And I just thought it was so interesting. It's a very busy dial. In particular, they offer a black and white version, which I have been trying to get my hands on because I love the style and design of this watch. But unfortunately, I've only been able to own this one. But they offer it in black and white, and then this finish with almost like a lime green color, you know, numerals, and the hands on here, which are like needle hands on there, if you're able to see that. The only thing about this watch that kind of kills it, and it doesn't kill it because, you know, I wear these casually. I'm not, you know, diving with any of these. I'm not taking it 200 meters anywhere. Since this was for refurbished, I assume the crown was damaged at some point and they replaced it. This is supposed to have a screw down crown, and it only has a push pull crown. So that is not, you know, authentic to the this actual watch design. I do need a screw down crown, but I don't know how to do that, and I'm kind of scared to do it myself. If anybody knows or works on watches that you guys can recommend me, please let me know, so I can go ahead and install one of those or have someone install it. But nonetheless, very cool watch. Did I ever say what it's called? This is the MAR-300. There's an MAR series of Casios that is super cool. If you guys are into Casios, and specifically like analog Casios, you guys should look into those because they're very cool tool watches. Specifically, they came with pretty much all 200 meters of water resistance, which is kind of insane. I mean, they're overbuilt in my opinion, and it feels very well built as well. Nice clasp on here too. I love that double locking. You know, it locks here and locks here. Really, really cool. And it is a signed clasp right there with Casio. So yeah, very unique. All right, next up right here, we have another Casio. Again, very similar theme, going down the rabbit hole. I was looking for a watch that was kind of like an everyday watch, a watch that I think this one in particular makes for a great kind of like, the Mad Watchman had shown this on his channel. It's like a Rolex Explorer, alternative, very budget version. Obviously this is not, a Rolex Explorer, but it has some similar features, similar case design and stuff, and it is super nice in my opinion. You have your date window right here, and very nice, kind of like almost, it looks like carbon fiber on the actual watch face, if you guys can see that. Really, really cool, almost like a weave pattern in there. Like carbon fiber. 10-year battery, 100 meters of water resistant, which I think should be the minimum. 50 meters you'll be fine, to get it wet and stuff, but 100 meters, you can definitely trust to just go do what you got to do. Screw down back right here, case back, and no crown guards or anything, but I think it's because of the design and what they were going for, I think it suits it just having the crown exposed like that. 12 and 10 numerals on there, and then just some markers right here, and a 24-hour chapter ring that is slightly raised. I just feel like this is a really nice looking watch. Casio really outdid themselves. Again, these are all quartz mostly. Casio is known for their quartz, and they just released their first automatic, which looks really interesting, but they still shine in that quartz, and even with this design right here and not being automatic, I think it's still a winner. Really, really one of my favorites. This was what I was wearing today, and I swapped it out for this one. All right, and then moving on. Oh, let me show you guys what it is. Sorry. This is the EF121, and that's another thing. So this is an Edifice / Casio. And you can see right there on the dial it says Casio Edifice. It's kind of blocked by the minute marker right there, or the minute hand. So this is the Edifice line, which is kind of like a more premium version of Casio's. It's kind of their premium watches and stuff. So this was a really cool, they definitely wanted to bring something better to the table with this, and I think they nailed it. Really, really nice watch. Okay, next up, this is a favorite of mine. This is a classic, I feel. This is a watch that I feel a lot of people recommend, and I always recommend this one. This is the MRW 200H. I actually have both versions right here, or not both, because they have so many versions of this. Any color you're looking for, they probably will have it. This is the one I got recently. I've been having this one with the stainless band, and this is how it comes. This is a plastic case. It does have a bidirectional bezel that moves. It does not click. Sorry about that. So it's just a pressed on pretty much bezel or whatever, and it imitates almost like a field watch / dive watch style design, which I really like. Day and date, I love a date window, and if it has a day and date window, I love that even more. Really comfortable band on this one. Obviously kind of jangly, most of the Casios and stuff kind of jangly, but they're still very comfortable. This one in particular, I've gotten a lot of compliments on, and it kind of hurts my feelings because I have way more expensive watches, but people seem to always compliment me and ask me about this one. And I'm not saying always, I mean just very few times where people do comment on my watch. I happen to be wearing this one, and it surprises me because this watch is about maybe 30, it's under 40 bucks. But it just looks nice. It looks a little bit more expensive in my opinion than what it is. I love the hands on here, kind of like dive style hands on there. Really nice. Why isn't this ticking? I think I might have pulled the crown out. Maybe this one actually just died. I hadn't worn this one. Yeah, I think this one needs a new battery. Oh, never mind. think I might have pulled the crown out by accident. But really nice seconds hand as well too, with a little like pointer on there. It's just very clear. I love the numerals on here. You can just look at it and tell what time it is, you know. Same thing with this one. This one I actually kind of modified myself. I bought this one secondhand used, and the band that came with it, the original rubber strap band, was broken. So I ended up buying a skame that it's pretty much a ripoff of this watch that comes with this metal band. And it's a perfect fit. So I just went ahead and changed it, and now I have a metal band in black to match this one. I personally like the feel of these metal bands on this. So since I was used to this one on the metal band, I was like, well, it'd be nice to have that. So this was a cool little mod. I haven't seen too many people do it. I did get the inspiration from a guy on YouTube, but I haven't seen too many people doing this mod to it, which, you know, I think it's pretty cool. And yeah, again, an instant classic. Whoa, it's a little windy over here in Vegas right now. Next up, we have the Voyager. This is the Battalion 3. Really cool domed crystal on here. A little bit shiny here. This was, again, used. I got this at a pawn shop, and I think Voyager's one of those companies that is very underrated. They make a really good product, especially since these are assembled in Switzerland. They're Swiss made. Rotating bezel on this, which, you know, you wouldn't assume it rotates. I honestly, when I first held it in hand, I didn't think this rotated, but it does rotate. You have a loom pip on here on the top, and you have all your markers right here with really good what is it called, the illumination, what is it called, yeah, whatever, I'll think about it right now. Again, I'm not a watch expert, but the loom on here is actually really good. You can tell it's already glowing just from the natural sunlight out here. It's already glowing. Most of the Casios and stuff that I've shown, the loom is, you know, it's pretty terrible, to be honest. You're not going to be able to get too much visibility at night, but this one, it just, I mean, they put really good loom on it, and these are more budget-ended pieces. I've seen these on eBay for about maybe as low as 20-30 bucks, as high as maybe $100, just depending on the style. I happen to like this kind of orange color. I'm not sure if this is an aluminum bezel, but really nice pop of orange here on this bezel, and then really nice hands on here too, and a 4 o'clock date window, which I find it to be pretty cool and interesting, and a red seconds hand. They're actually made by the Voyager was associated with the Swiss Army watch company. So if you look on the back right here, again, just another little cherry on top, it has a little Swiss Army knife there in the back, which I find super cool. Screw down case back, screw down crown here as well with crown guards. I just find it really nice. I put this strap on it myself. I had the original metal band on it, but that thing was way too jangly. It wasn't fitting right, so I put this strap on it, and I think it looks pretty cool. So yeah, this is the Voyager Battalion 3. Next up here, we have the Invicta. This is the Pro Diver series. I'm not a huge fan of Invicta, to be honest. I never really, when I first started looking at them, you know, I thought they were cool and stuff, but it was clearly, you know, highly inspired by Rolex and stuff. If you're gonna do something similar, that's fine, but, you know, give it kind of your own spin. They kind of went more towards an exact, you know, homage of it, and then just stamp their you know, name on there. So I found that kind of, you know, weird. And then the Invicta on the side right here, again, some people might like it. I find it to be kind of a little too much. This one was a gift from my dad. He gifted this to me, so in particular, I don't wear this one that much. This crown actually hurts my wrist a little bit. It pops out a lot. But it is a screw down crown. You do have a rotating bezel, which actually feels pretty nice. It's a unidirectional bezel, and yeah, not, I mean, you have a lot of movement on there and stuff, but it still feels kind of nice. You have your magnified date window right there, and then the Mercedes hands on here, which again, Rolex-ish. Rolex, you know, is known for that. That's the whole design here. I put this strap on here hoping it would fit a little bit better, but it's still, you know, it feels a little wonky. It's a little heavy. Nothing bad to say about it, but in particular, it's not my favorite. I only keep it for the sentimental value because I really appreciate that my dad, you know, gifted this to me. He has his own little collection. He has a bunch of Seikos and Citizens. I wish he would have gifted me one of those, but instead he gifted me this. Regardless, I appreciate it. And I do wear it from time to time, especially on Father's Day, just to, you know, just for him and stuff. But yeah, that's the Invicta Pro Diver. I keep on saying driver. All right, next up, this is the M79, I believe. If I got that wrong, I will put up right here what the name is of this one. This was a gift from my wife for our anniversary. This in particular is a automatic watch. This one also was an automatic watch, actually. So now these are going to be, you know, not quartz. They're not battery operated. They are operated through the system inside, as you can tell right here, a rotary. And you, as you move, they will go ahead and wind up, and that seconds hand starts to tick. So this was my, I believe, first, or maybe the Pro Diver was the first, and then this one maybe the second automatic. But I absolutely love this watch. A lot of the features on this are very meh. You know, it has 50 meters of water resistance, which isn't great. I mean, for the price, I believe at the time these were going over $200, but I do specifically love kind of this domed acrylic crystal. Again, acrylic, it's not sapphire or anything. It's not anything that is less scratch resistant. It is acrylic, so that, you know, for $200 or over $200, that's, again, not the best, but it just looks really good. I love the shape of this case right here. It just looks really good. It looks like a flying saucer, in my opinion. Nice and thick too. This band, actually, I thought I wouldn't like it. I thought maybe it was going to pull on my hairs and stuff, but it's actually quite comfortable. It latches on right here, kind of similar to like those old school Casios and stuff. And it fits really nice, especially because it has so much individual movement here. It'll kind of like wrap around your wrist really, really well. So I wear this on special occasions and stuff. You know, it's a little bit more shiny, a little bit more, you know, blingy and stuff. I like kind of the weird look of the indices in here, kind of like if they're like a vintage, like if they're aged and stuff. Date, again, I love that. The red seconds hand, and then Mercedes hands. I'm not a huge fan of Mercedes hands, but I think they did it pretty well on this. So yeah, timex, I actually do really like timex. It has a unidirectional bezel right here, and it clicks in really, really nice. I really like it. Nice lume pip on there too. I like this watch a lot. I just feel like it's a classy watch, and it, you know, it's not the best specs on it, but I think for what it is, it's pretty cool, the design. You know, this one has a dome crystal as well. This is acrylic, I believe, as well. Okay, next up, this one was my first like big purchase, I want to say. This one, I got it off of AliExpress, and when I got it, I was like, man, that's a lot for a watch. And at the time, you know, this was $100. Which honestly is not a lot for, especially a automatic watch. This one, same thing. You know, shake it around and it gets that seconds marker, you know, moving around. You have a case, a screw down case back right here with a kind of like the ship's steering wheel right there. This is the Bodary Voyager, if I didn't mention. Let me move the hour hand right there so you guys can see. It has a screw down, there you go. Can you see, guys see that right there? So Bodary Voyager, screw down crown right here. Really, really nice design. This is a full titanium watch for $100 at the time. I'm pretty sure they're a little bit higher up now in price, but I mean, for under, I think they're still around like 130. I think that's still really good for a full titanium watch. I mean, this thing feels super lightweight, and the case shape on this just wraps around your wrist amazing. This does have a sapphire crystal on it, and you know, it is very scratch resistant. I do wear this one quite often. You can see right here all the snail trails on the titanium right there wearing in, which I find to be attractive. I love that look. I love the look of a worn watch, a worn in watch. Drilled lugs right here, really nice. Again, double locking right there with the push right there, and the extra right there signed, you know, stamped, you know, name right there on bodary. I think this is a really nice watch. This is they offer this in a ton of different colors as well, and if you can tell also the actual texturing on the dial with the you know, numerals right here also looking to be aged. This one has decent lume, and then the 4 o'clock you know, day date on there makes it a little bit different. Very similar to a Bertucci, if you guys have heard of that. Very similar to that, but I think they took it a step above and made it, you know, a little bit better, honestly. I really enjoy this watch. This is one of my favorite watches to wear. My wife hates it. She says it looks dull and it looks kind of boring, but I like it. I mean, it's a tool watch, you know, it's a man's watch. Whoa. Next up, my most recent purchase, and I'd have to say probably my favorite watch in this whole collection. Again, very humble collection, and all these pieces are very budget oriented. This one was the one that I actually myself, is, you know, my wife spent money around 200 and something for this one, but I spent around 200 for this one, which I think was still a really good deal. I found this randomly at a pawn shop, and at first I was thinking, oh, it's probably fake. There's no way. There's a real SNK 007 here, just randomly at this pawn shop. And I started, you know, I took a couple of pictures of it. I asked if I could take pictures. They were okay with it. I took pictures of it, and I went to do research for about a week. For about a week, I was kind of just, you know, seeing what exactly entails, you know, a real SNK over a fake one. And the lume pip was one, the numerals here on the bezel, the actual indices here, the lettering, the back case right here. There's a bunch of good videos on YouTube. If you guys are, you know, hesitant on buying something, you know, always double check and do your research. And to my surprise, everything checked out. So this is a genuine, and it's not only genuine, it's a JDM, because it has the 21 jewels on there, and that means that it's a Japanese Seiko SNK 007 with the, let me see, what does it say? With the 7S26 movement on here, which is a workhorse. These originally at one time were about $100, and you could find them readily available, but they stopped making them, and they were just known for being such great watches that you know, they're very sought after now. So again, it really surprised me to be able to find this randomly at a pawn shop. The cushion case on here is so comfortable. I love the look of this bezel right here, and again, unidirectional, nice and clicky bezel, raised little you know, it's like a raised markers here for the seconds or for the minutes tracks right here, and then the indices on here with the hands on there. I love it. Just such an attractive looking watch. I absolutely love the 4 o'clock screw down crown right here, day date with the little pop of color on Saturday. Again, some of these do have little pops of color. These actually, I believe, have, oh no, this has an NH35. It's a different movement, but it's a Seiko movement as well. And Seiko movements are just known for being great. A lot of brands use their movements. So it's just a great workhorse, and it's pretty much the ultimate tool watch in my opinion. I ended up putting this band on it just because it had the original rubber, you know, diver's band on it, and it's so uncomfortable, that one. I mean, some people might like it, but I didn't like it. I actually want to get the forgot what it's called, but the original metal band that came with it, the Jubilee band. Looks really nice on that. And this is like an, you can wear this everywhere. You can wear this to, you know, work. You can wear this to dive. You can wear this to the beach. You can wear this to I feel like a wedding. You can wear this out. I mean, it's just such a good looking watch in my opinion. I absolutely love this thing, and I'm super blessed that I was able to find it, honestly. And for 200 bucks, I mean, it's a lot. Personally, I, you know, don't spend a lot on watches and stuff. But I think that was a steal, because I've seen these go for about, you know, $400, $300, $500 and in used condition. And this is a Harlex crystal on here. That's Seiko's proprietary crystal. It's just a lot going for it. This is, again, one of my favorite, just a classy looking watch. I absolutely love the look of this thing. Very unique, very its own thing. You know, that's what I like it so much. So yeah, that's the Seiko SNK 007. And then lastly, we have here one of the ultimate dive watches, budget dive watches. This one was another gift from my wife. This is the Casio MDV, I believe 107 or 106. 106. And this is the green with black with green bezel version. They offer a couple different versions of this, a lot of different colors on this. 200 meters of water resistance, a screw down crown, and a nice clicky bezel on this. Really like it. It's a little too big personally. I know they have a small version, but I've heard mixed reviews saying that it feels kind of weird. So I'm okay with this one. It's a little big for me, the case diameter on here, but it's still a great tool watch, a great diver's watch. Nice red pop right there from the seconds hand. I love the marlin on there. Casio, it just looks really, really good. It's one of the nicest, I feel, faces that Casio has come out with. And you know, just the 200 meters of water resistance and the nice clicky bezel. I mean, they could have easily not given you a bezel that rotates, which they do in a lot of other models, but they ended up giving you that and a screw down crown. I mean, that's ultimate value. And these are going for about, maybe you can find them maybe used for around 40, brand new maybe around 60, 70. It really depends, maybe cheaper on eBay. But this is a great watch. I mean, so many people, you'll find 100 videos of these just saying how good these are. And I think they need to continue making these and coming out in 100 different versions, because these will keep selling. And I'll probably want to buy another one, honestly. This one's awesome. So yeah, guys, that is my collection. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Again, very humble, you know, blue collar watches here, tool watches mostly. If you guys liked any in particular, let me know. If you guys have any recommendations for tool watches or dive watches or field style watches, please put them down below. Let me know what you're wearing on your wrists as well. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe. I will catch you guys on the next one. Later.